What's good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And this one I want to talk about what's happening with NIO and the overall markets. Let me first mention that I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button. It not only benefits me, it benefits the entire community as a whole. So what's happening to NIO is NIO is trying to test its 50 EMA at 3.94. We dipped a little bit only to come back up. So now we're testing this resistance. We'll have to see if we could break this or not. We have a nice accumulation structure that's developing, so this does give us some upside potential trying to fill this gap to 4.04. So there might be a bounce coming if we could try to hold above 3.94. That's going to be a very, very key level. So we'll see if NIO holds this. If it doesn't, we're coming back down to 3.85. So we'll see if this holds or not. But overall, this looks a little bit more bullish. It does favor a potential push for this gap fill. So it looks more probable it's going to fill the gap. But just to be safe, we'll wait for confirmation. Now, I just want to mention that for Monday, there's not really much data coming out. We have a couple of Fed speakers for Tuesday. And for Wednesday, we have the FOMC minutes, which is going to be very important, giving us more insights from the Fed. Jobs numbers for Thursday, and then Friday, we have Jerome Powell giving a speech. So we have quite a bit coming out for next week. Wednesday through Friday will be more intense, and then we have very minor data for Monday and Tuesday. For earnings, I just want to mention that we have Lowe's announcing earnings on Tuesday. Lots of retail like Xbong. Xbong is going to be one for the EV sector, also coming out for Tuesday. And by the way, other retail such as like Target, Macy's, TJ Maxx, and the list goes on. But very minor earnings. Nothing is too crazy. Just lots of retail and such. For the Fed, there's about a 72.5% chance we get a 25 basis point cut. So we'll see how that goes. As far as NIO goes, I'm not really seeing anything new on their Twitter page. They're still talking about their new power swap station that was opened in Norway, which is once again their 53rd in Europe. But there's been a lot of talk about the Onvo L60, which is supposed to be at a sale price of about $30,800 USD with the 345-mile range. And this can be a very, very big competitor with many of its counterparts. I think it's very cool stuff. I don't think that it's going to sell as much as the Tesla Model Y for a while, but I do believe that this is their version of a competitor. I think that NIO is going to have a lot to prove in Europe, but their sales are growing as more swap stations are opening up. So I'm optimistic about this, but I just want to note it's going to take time for them to really get those sales up, especially when they start to hit the market very soon. On top of this, there's been a lot of talk about sales continuing to grow. Right now, they're focusing on China, and that's been a big winner for them. And things are going to likely continue as time goes on. There's not much changing within the data right here, but the price-price ratio is once again hitting this low. The last time it hit this low, we got a big bounce in NIO, so we'll see if that ends up being the case. And then Tuesdays and Wednesdays going to be stronger than Mondays, so we'll see how that goes as well. In my opinion, I see two possibilities for NIO. I think the chart's attempting to go higher as we broke structure right here, but we got to maintain this. The two possibilities are if we do dip a little bit, we could grab liquidity around here, around this 3.89 area, then continue higher above $4 to fill this gap for 4.05. Or if we hold above 3.95, we might just go straight up into the fours. There could be a little bounce coming as long as we hold above 3.94, get back above it. So that's going to give us some potential. If we lose that, we're going back down to the 3.8, so give it some time. As far as SPY goes, we look more bullish. We're hitting a resistance right here. If we break resistance, we're going up to 556. And if we fail here, there's going to be a dip coming. So far, we're holding it very nicely. The chart is remaining bullish, but watch 555 as key resistance and see if we could get back up to 556.5 and then eventually 558. So we'll see, but overall, it still remains bullish. So for ES made a nice move towards that 5600 area. It was a very, very great push from the share price. But if we end up breaking through that, there's going to be another push for about 5625. And if we don't break through that, if we get rejected off this resistance, we'll be looking for 5550 as our next potential target, then eventually 5500 flats for the 20 EMA. The 4 hour is turning a little bit, so it's showing some signs of tough resistance. So we're just going to wait and see what this test leads to. We're at resistance, so give it some time. Same thing with SPX. We'll just have to see how it reacts here. So there's not really much for me to say. Nvda has the same thing going on. It's at resistance. It will attempt to break this, in my opinion. We might try to fill this gap towards 126 and go a little higher. We still look very bullish, but just know that 125 is a tough resistance. It may take a lot to really break that, at least temporarily. And if we get an initial dip, look for 121.5 as support. We'll see if that gets tested. Bitcoin's doing a good job as trying to rebound here. Watch this hold, this support at around 58,900. If that fails, this could start dipping. If we reclaim this, we could continue to push. So give this some time. If Bitcoin turns a little bit downwards, that could have an effect on the markets. Tesla, on the other hand, looks very bullish on the 4 hour and also on the daily. We have a nice cup and handle like structure that's developing. Also, when you look at the daily, once again, could be forming a nice cup right here. So I think we look bullish, especially as we have this gap to fill above and the structure right here around the 235 area. So I think we favor upside. I think that's whether we get a little dip on Tesla first and then continue or not, we're going to likely be hitting the 230 soon. So I see potential in the chart. Looks very bullish to me. As long as we don't lose like 210, we're going to favor upside. The QQQ hit 475. We're trying to hold above that. If we hold that, we have this gap to fill on the daily up to 480. But if we don't hold 475, look for this move back down to 472, then eventually 469. The chart favors upside, especially as we have the gap to fill, so we'll see how things go. For Apple, we look a little bit more bullish, especially on the daily time frame. If we keep on pushing, we'll have 227 as our resistance. If that breaks, this imbalance will fill towards 230. And if we reject and we end up losing 223, we'll be dipping back down to fill the gap towards 221. So overall, we look a little bit more bullish. For a few more out there, like the IWM, we look a little bit more bullish as well, especially on the daily time frame. We have this big gap to fill up here. I think the Russell's going to try to fill this gap. I think we're doing a good job, so look for a little bit more upside. Amazon's looking decent, but there's going to be a big fight at 177. If we could try to hold above this next week, 180 is going to be our next target. Meta is doing a decent job. It's showing weakness here. It might dip a little bit towards 525. If we lose that, 520 could come, but then we could try to rebound. It hit tough resistance, so I wouldn't be surprised if we dip a little bit before we attempt to bounce. So look for a test of 525. Microsoft may retest 418, then try to bounce. So we'll see if that ends up being the case. And Google is also doing a decent job. It is attempting to push higher, but we got to break 166 to hit 168. So watch those resistance levels. With that being said, guys, that's it for my video. I kind of want to just make this one really short. Some tickers like the IWM looks really nice, and so does Tesla. I'm going to be prioritizing those for next week. I'm going to be playing those a lot more than I try to play like SPY, ES, or anything else. And the reason for that is because I really like their setups more. So I'll be watching those very carefully. And as far as NIO goes, we'll see if we can hold above 3.9. If we hold above the 3.94 area, we're going to continue to push. The daily looks more bullish, so it is favoring 4.04, if not higher. So let's hope we get a bounce on NIO. We did hit this support the last time we hit this. We did bounce. So let's be optimistic and hope for the best, and we'll see how well this ends up going. So that being said, I want to thank you all so much for listening. We'll see how well NIO holds up. Don't forget, we also happen to have this structure right over here. This is our resistance. We'll see if NIO could try to break this on the daily. It might be a test of this as you approach the $4 area, so I'll see. And please have a great weekend, guys. I'm, by the way, not going to be posting tomorrow. I'm going to take a little break. So I'll see you guys again on Sunday, just to give you guys an update on how the market's looking alongside these other pieces of news. Until I see you guys again, have a great day, night, or evening, wherever you guys are around the world. I know there's viewers all over the place. So have a great weekend. I'll see you guys again on Sunday. I'll be giving you guys another report on data too. And we'll just hope for the best. So have a great day, guys, and peace out.